right, in reading your question, I think the first question I was asking myself too is, why exactly are you not ready to get married? So your parents are not alone in the boat, because if you were your friend, that means it's you out of the picture observing yourself now. Somebody will be looking at you critically and saying, what is the next thing? Settle down. If you have a good life, then you want somebody to share the life with. But I want to believe that you have your reasons. The only thing is, I want you to ask yourself critically, are these strong reasons? We call strong reasons good enough reasons why we're not doing something, or why we choose to do what we do. So I want to believe you want to ask yourself first. I hope you're not being evasive. I hope you're not running away from some issues that need to be dealt with. Then another thing is, it might be that you want to put some things in place. It might be that there are personal things, issues that you feel you need to work on or deal with first. By the time you've sat down and asked yourself these questions, what do I need to work on? What am I trying to avoid? What am I trying to work against? What else do I want to get in place? Emotionally, financially, physically. When you ask yourself and you have answered these questions, and you believe, yes, I'm right in saying I'm not ready to get married yet, and there's nothing I'm running away from, I've analyzed it well, these are my reasons, then now put yourself on a timeline. How long will it take me to work on these things? First, what exactly are you? Yes, I've said that. How long will it take me to work on these things? How exactly will I work on these things? You have settled and you're okay with yourself, you're at peace. Then you now need to look at your parents, you need to look at your loved ones, people that are important to you, and you might have to have a sit down with them, heart-to-heart conversation, explaining the fact that, you know what, I know that you love me and I know that you care. That's why you're on my neck. But you see, this is what I need to do. These are the things I still need to work on. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I need to do this. This is how long it will take me. These are the adjustments that I'm making. So you know what, give and take the next 2 years, give and take the next 1 month, give and take the next 6 months, 1 year. I'll be ready to start saying I'm thinking of settling down or having a relationship. And once you put their mind at rest and it's obvious you know what you're doing, I believe they will be off your neck and be able to, support you, and you guys can be okay, and you can, at the end of the day, achieve what you want to achieve.
Now, yes, God said in Malachi that I hate divorce. It's not the will of God for people to divorce. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 24, it says, for this reason shall a man, leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two of them shall become one flesh. Okay, God wants us to live together in harmony, in peace. Okay, God does not want us to divorce. But when people ask this question about divorce, their mind is on 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Okay, where Paul the apostle also reiterated the fact that God does not want us to divorce. Let's just read from 1 Corinthians chapter 7, and then we can explain a few things from there. 1 Corinthians 7, I'll read from verse 10. From verse 10, it says, to the married I give this command, not I, but the Lord. A wife must not separate from her husband, but if she does, she must remain unmarried or else be reconciled to her husband. And a husband must not divorce his wife. Okay, it's clear God does not want us to divorce. You see, but the spirit of this instruction is reconciliation. And what the Bible is saying is this: if there's a reason why the two of you are angry at each other, separated from each other, as long as the other person is alive and unmarried, okay, pursue reconciliation. Find a place to come back together. God is saying it's better the two of you come back together than go your separate ways. The objective is reconciliation. Because if you go to verse 15, and this is talking about where you are born again and you are married to somebody who's not born again. And this is what I would say. When a person who claims to be born again is acting like an unbeliever, we can apply this verse of scripture to them. What the Bible says in verse 15 is, but if the unbeliever leaves, let it be so. The brother or the sister is not bound. And so this is what it means. Okay, if one of the parties, not you asking this question, for example, leaves and gets married to somebody else, I believe that the other party is free to move on with his or her life. Okay, the objective of the instruction is reconciliation. And what the Bible is saying is, but if reconciliation is no longer possible, then either of the two of you can move on with your life. I believe that should help somebody listening to me.
Very interesting. I wonder why your boyfriend or girlfriend will keep bringing up your ex in your discussions or in your relationship. I want to be sure, is it a case of comparison? But since you stated the fact that you are sure that he or she does not have feelings for this ex again, so I can say we're a bit safe here. So I think what you need to do is ask yourself the questions: what exactly are the things he or she is bringing up? What exactly, is it a basis of comparison? Is it a basis of their lapses? Is it a basis of there's regret? Is it a basis of their issues to deal with? By the time you've been able to analyze the situation and look at it and understand to the best way you can, then you might need to hold a discussion. If you're still uncomfortable and say, this is what has been happening and this is what I've observed and I'm not comfortable about it, can we make an adjustment? Can we look into, some things? Can we focus on this current relationship and give our best to it and make the most of what we have?
All right, this is what I would say. I don't think it's peculiar to ladies. I don't think it's peculiar to an age or a race. I believe that, as a matter of fact, each and every one of us, to varying degrees, will deal with a form of insecurity or the other. Okay, so this is what I say. If you're in a relationship or you're in friendship with somebody and you find out that the person has insecurity issues, first, don't stigmatize. Consider that a weakness or an attack. Consider it a challenge on the part of the person. And the question that you should ask yourself is this: this person's level of insecurity, is it a deal breaker for me? In other words, can I cope with this person? If you cannot cope, then I would advise that you let the person be, okay, walk out of the relationship or close the door gently, all right? But if you can cope, okay, go ahead and cope. But much more than that, help the person to find help. Okay, I would advise that the person talks to a professional, seek help, okay, from psychologists, as to how to deal with this dimension of insecurity, whatever it is. But all of us deal with it at a point in our lives or the other. Sometimes things happen in your life that really make you feel unsure or insecure, all right? I would also advise that person to deepen your relationship with God. There's something about investing time in God's presence that reveals you to you, that reveals the will of God to you, and that helps you to begin to see yourself the way God sees you and become a better person in the process. But the person who is in a relationship, who is considering this person for marriage, should ask him or herself, can I deal with this? If you can't cope with it, let the person go. If you can cope with it, I believe it's possible for you to help that person get better over time. All right.
The genotype issue is something that is very sensitive, and it can be very painful when you have a friend and you guys are chummy, everything is flowing, and there's nothing stopping you for saying, we want to take this to the next level. The only thing is I'm AS and you're AS. But when it comes to every other thing, it's perfect. I have had a couple close to me that had to deal with this, and it was a very difficult situation to deal with. But sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I know at the end of the day, each couple would decide on their decision. But if you've seen a family deal with genotype issues, if you've seen them deal with health issues of their children, at times it even pulls people apart. You want to think again before you say you know what the heck, let's go ahead. Personally, I feel once your genotype is not compatible, I advise couples to back off. Take your time, analyze the situation, get some healing, but I think the pain is not worth it. The agony you need to go through in the nearest future if you end up having a child that has a sickle cell is not worth it for you to go ahead. But if you're not willing to make some adjustments, you can go ahead. What are the adjustments? Do we decide that together we're not going to have children? Are we ready to say, okay, we won't have children, would adopt children that we can take care of? If you're willing to make this decision, then why not? Because the particular friends I'm talking about, the reason why they could not get married was the guy was willing to say, I love everything we have to share together. I can share the rest with you without us, bringing any child to this world that will have to deal with pain. But the lady looked at it and said, it's a deal breaker for me. I think I would want to have children. So if we can't have children together, I think we can take a walk, and take a break. And that was what they did. And today they are better off with other partners and they are well taken care of. So basically, but don't go ahead and don't be responsible and take, a definite stand about the future children that we're going to have together.
First and foremost, I think this person is, has a genuine question, but is presenting it or covering it up with a bit of untruth. It's not possible for you to accidentally hit a person's manhood and find out the person has an add-on and then you know the size. I don't think so. Maybe you guys have slept with each other, but the question is, the man has a small manhood and for you, it's a deal breaker. First, let me say, when it comes to sexual intercourse, size is not as important as skill, okay? So for somebody listening out there, in case you are the guy with a small manhood, you need to remember, you need to put it at the back of your mind. It's not so much about size, but about how to use what you have, okay? A lot of young people who don't understand sexuality get carried away with size, but it's not about size, it's about skill. And sexual ability is not a talent, okay? It's a skill that everybody can learn, okay, and acquire. And one of the reasons why God has said to us to limit sex to marriage relationship or to marriage, okay, is because there's a lot of learning to do over time. Perhaps a lot of insecurity to overcome over time, and it takes the security of marriage for you to become comfortable with each other, for you to learn about each other's body and get better. So for the person, I believe a lady asking this question, first and foremost, you shouldn't explore sex outside of marriage, okay? There's security in marriage that helps you to explore sex. Number two, size is not as important as skill. And then ultimately, if for you, okay, for where you are, size is still a problem, then please let the person be, but don't give a man the impression there's something wrong because his manhood is small. Size is not as important as skill.
I don't believe any man struggles to propose, but I stand to be corrected. Because, okay, some people have self-esteem issues, some people are not sure, some people... But why do I say this? A lot of men that I know, young, old, rich, poor, successful, on their way, when they see what they want, when they see who they want, I have seen them in a short period of time articulate what they want and go for it and work on it. So when you see a man that you're still wondering why is he not proposing, he's indecisive or he's not sure enough or he's not confident enough, I think you want to think again. You want to look at the situation and analyze critically. most of the time is either the guy has assessed and is not ready to take the relationship to the next level, or he has not been able to make his decision yet. By the time you feel you need to help him, you make him uncomfortable, or you push him away, or you put him in a tight situation. However, if you feel, you look at it and you believe this relationship needs to be defined, I can't keep waiting forever, or I can't keep hanging, then you might need to hold a I call them defining conversations, defining moments where you take responsibility. Take him out on a date, sit him down and say, you know what, we've been friends for a while, and left to me, I might believe this relationship needs to go to the next level, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I just want to ask you, what do you think? What are we doing here? What are we looking at here? What is the plan? And I'm not forcing you to make a decision. I'm only saying, let's define this relationship. That way you're being responsible. That way you're protecting the interest of the two of you. But you need to put your mind at rest, or you need to tell yourself this can go either way. You can say, you know what, give me more time. Or you can say, I'm so sorry, I should have, or I've been planning to. But just know the purpose is not you are helping him to propose. You are helping you guys define the relationship. You're protecting your emotions, like so to say. But that you're helping a man propose, as long as it's obvious you're friends, as long as it's obvious you've communicated emotionally that I'm comfortable with you, I like you, you're my guy. I believe a lot of men take the cue and take a step forward and get things, sorted. So I don't think you need to help a man propose. I just believe if you start getting uncomfortable, define the relationships. Don't wait forever. Don't say, I'm waiting on him to propose, something. Define the relationship, ask critical questions, and have him answer, and have you guys, work out things accordingly.
Okay, I believe by saying that you know God's opinion about being gay, you mean you have come to the conclusion, according to scriptures, that it's not the will of God for anybody to be gay, or for anybody or same sex to get married to each other. I'm happy with your opinion and the conclusion you have come to draw. What I would say to you is never say never. See, because if you say you are born again, then you need to understand that essentially you are a seed and you're growing, and over time you would evolve. So give yourself time. Never say never. Never say you won't get married. It's okay for you to say, I won't get married to the same sex, but don't say you won't get married. Just allow yourself to keep growing and to keep evolving. I believe over time, okay, God's work will continue to be perfected in you. I believe one of these days you would see yourself, developing feelings for the opposite sex, and then you can get married. But I honor your decision and I respect it. God bless you.
The question I want to ask you is, what is a serious relationship? I believe relationships should be taken seriously. And I believe you don't have to wait until you're ready to get married or settle down before you start having cordial and very fantastic relationships. What I say to men, younger men and young women around me is, get friendly, get to discover yourself. Get to discover people, get to meet with people, and then everybody you relate with, take them seriously, treat them well, get to understand them, get to express yourself, understand. The better friend you become, the better fiancé you get to be at the end of the day. The more you discover life, the more you discover things with people, that is how eventually you get to meet a partner that you now say, oh, this is it. I'm not letting this person out of my sight, or I'm spending the rest of my life with this person. So you don't have to wait to say, okay, I'm getting married in 2018, then I start getting serious with you 2017. No, I believe your values, I believe your standards should be, anybody I come in contact with, anybody I meet, I'm the best friend I can be. So whether male, female, I'm the best person I can be to them. I get to know them. I get to understand them. I get to do life together with them. I get to maximize life. But by the time you keep living like this, at the end of the day, that is how you walk into gold mines. That's how you walk into the best of relationships. And that's how you're going to meet your life partner and make the most of every relationship you're in.
So this is what I say. It's important that we all have somebody that we are accountable to, okay? Marriage shouldn't be the first place that you are practicing submission, either as a man or a woman. Everybody, okay, should have somebody they are accountable to. But you cannot force somebody to be submitted to somebody they have not chosen. Rather, you should use the person's submission as a yardstick for deciding whether this is the person you should be married to. So this is what I'm trying to say. You are in love with somebody, but that person's ability to be submitted to somebody else or to be accountable to authority should tell you whether you are getting married to a mature person, to an emotionally fit person or not. If the person is not submissive or is not accountable to authority, that is a sign to you that perhaps you have not met the person you should get married to, or this person is not fit for marriage. But you cannot force somebody to be accountable to a specific individual. No, you cannot do that. Thank you.
Why do I believe that you might be a culprit here? You might not be giving us the whole picture. Because my first reaction would have been, what the heck? Let her take a walk. Why if you don't call somebody in 24 hours, why would the person be upset with you? But usually in relationships, when somebody reacts or seems to overreact to something you did or you did not do, it is usually the final straw that broke the camel's back. So I want to ask you, how exactly have you been conducting this relationship? How sensitive have you been? Have you taken some things for granted? Have there been some misunderstandings that have not been taken care of? That you've not listened to, or you've not done what you're supposed to do? Or is it that for the past maybe few months or few years that you guys have been in a relationship, have you observed her to be somebody that is unreasonable? Do you feel that she seeks too much attention or something, and now it just looks as if she has done this, and this is the final straw that has broken the camel's back for you now? So if you wait and you ask these two questions, and it is a case of I've been insensitive, or there are some things that I've been doing that finally this was it for her and she just felt, you know what, I can't go on. Then, if you're asking these questions, you know that means you need to deal with some things first, and you need to go ahead and be ready to really beg. But this time around, it's not just you're pleading, it's the fact that you're expressing, you know what, I love you, I respect you, you mean a lot to me, and I'm going to try harder and do a better job at expressing my commitment and my love to you. But if it's that this person is unreasonable, this person is not understanding, this person is too demanding, this person, when it comes to emotionally, we're not that compatible, then you can allow it be the end. That means God answered your prayer in a particular way, and there's no need for you to plead. You can just find a way to settle things amicably so that you guys can still be friends and, you know, grow together as friends. But if she means a lot to you and you know that you've not done some things well, you've not taken care of some issues well in the past, apologize to her. Express certain ways in which you're ready to be better committed, and more sensitive. And I want to believe that she will listen to you and you guys can have another go at it. this is like a trick question. Cooking, cleaning, setting up of the house, washing, important. Very important in the running of a home. But it is not a do or die affair. I always say it. There are women that are naturally, they have natural aptitude for it. I love to cook. I love to cook. I love to set up the house. I love to have a wonderful environment, but I'm better at cooking than a lot of people that I know, but I'm not as good with housekeeping like some other women that I've met. I believe that the skills you acquire, you have them, it is a plus to you making your man feel at home. It is a plus to you giving your children a wonderful experience. So if, for instance, you feel I'm not so good with these skills, please go out of your way, learn. Watch videos, read articles, expose yourself, get better. You don't have to be a fantastic off the charts cook, but at least you can know how to make some basic meals and make your family feel good and give them a good experience. But don't kill yourself or overkill yourself because this is not an edge for me. This is not something that comes naturally, because the truth is you can staff your weaknesses, you can rely on other people, you can begin to check what are the things that are valuable that come naturally to me that I can give, and make sure that you fine-tune these other things and make them better and make yourself valuable. But I believe when it comes to taking care of domestic issues in the house, don't be totally clueless. Learn all you can learn. Make yourself have better value by acquiring some of this skill, by learning some of these things. Don't throw it out, but don't place too much emphasis on them and allow yourself get unnecessary under pressure about these things. I don't know if I've been able to balance it well enough, but that is what I think. Learn the most you can, be the best cook you can be the best homemaker you can be, but to know that this does not make you less of a woman if you don't know how to go about these things like some other individuals that you know.
Well, I think men are not as expressive verbally as women are. I think that's a generalization, yes. I think most men, are not as good with words as women are. The average lady will speak more than the average guy, but it doesn't mean men are not as expressive, all right? This is what I think is going on. The average guy will think about what he wants to say before he says it, while the average lady will say things as she is thinking about them. Okay, so women tend to speak more than men, but I think what should just happen is ladies should just accept it. Guys don't talk as much as we do, and I think that's okay, that's fair. I mean, that's fine. Let's not try to change one another. Let's try to accept each other for who we are and celebrate each other for who we are, and enjoy one another for who we are. Okay, this is what I would say to you. Whoever you're in, your partner is never enough. God did not design that you hook up to one person and that person becomes everything to you. No. Though you have found somebody you love and you care for, you still need other people. Okay, and one of the things that makes you enjoy other people is because of variety. So just take the person who comes to be your primary partner as unique. You have other people in your life, okay, that you enjoy interacting with. So the fact that the person doesn't talk much is a non-issue because you have other people in your life that talk. Okay, men should not think there's anything wrong with ladies who like to express themselves, and ladies should not feel that there's something wrong with guys who are not as expressive.
Okay, I love the fact that you're asking this question. That means that you have a dream, you have a desire, and you want somebody that you can share life together and get the best of marriage together. So how do you decide? I think critically first, you would sit down and ask yourself, what do I want in life? What is important to me? What do I want to achieve? What is my purpose? What is it that I want to be remembered for? Then, by the time you have established this, then you're able to think who or what kind of individual, what kind of traits, what kind of qualities would make an individual compatible for us to build this kind of home together, achieve this kind of life together, make this kind of, discovery or accomplishment together. And by the time you're able to put pen to paper, write things down. What are the qualities? What are the deal breakers for me? What are the things I can't do without? What are the things that I feel I would really appreciate? By the time you've been able to settle down on these things, the more you meet people, the more you relate with people, you begin to discover things about people. You begin to find out people that you're compatible with, somebody that you're comfortable with, somebody that brings out the best in you. I think this is a guy asking a question about a lady, the good lady to marry. Somebody that we're friends. I think that's the first thing. Somebody that we share the same values. We're passionate about the same things. There is nobody that will be perfect. But to a large extent, there is somebody that you get to meet that you believe, yes, we can make this work. We can enjoy life together. We can fulfill God's purpose for my life together. We can live a fulfilled life together. And I want to believe with the leading of the Spirit, with you being down to earth and with you being sincere with yourself, you'll be able to settle in and narrow in on the best person for you to get married to.